How did you pull this off? This was a tough guy, and boy, did he hang in there, and he took tremendous punishment and kept coming back.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to outpower him because my first time coming up to 200. So I knew I had to use the gifts that God gave me. Speed, power, movement, punch selection, and IQ. That's exactly what I did.
Got going around. He's on his way now to small bit. I just want to get a nice little beat against now. Let's see how we're together.
God damn, I'm gonna get fucked up, baby. The best fights I've ever seen in my life. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I'm getting loaded.
What are your thoughts on the fight?
They call him the Mexican Monster for a reason.
That was crazy. Were you expecting that?
I was expecting Zurdo to be able to like go to 12 because Zurdo has never been stopped before. Or not that I remember him. I think he's been stopped before. But he's tough, But I mean, David's much stronger at cruiserweight than he was at 175 and 168. Like much stronger. You can see in his speed, he's not killing himself. You can tell.
Were you impressed that Ramirez came back after the 4th round when it looked like it was over?
Hey, motherfucking weak. Honestly, I mean, he's a warrior, bro. I mean, dude, the year coming where he got hurt. He kept crying.
I'm just very happy with this, and I just want to keep fighting against the best in the world and keep cementing my greatness. Everybody doubts me over and over and over and over again, but that's what I like. I like when people doubt me because then I get to come in here and show you guys what I'm really made of. So I just want to tell you thank you so much. I love every single one of you, and this is a blessing just to be here with you guys. So thank you so much. I feel that I'm really starting to come into my own. Everything I speak, I do. You know what I mean? I said I was going to beat David Morrell. I said I was going to beat Caleb Plant. I said I was going to beat Yard. I said I was going to beat Zurdo Ramirez. So I'm just getting, a lot of confidence in myself. And back then, I thought it was a dream that I could become a great. And now I know for sure that this is my destiny. And I'm just very, very happy that I'm able to have this type of performance in Cinco de Mayo in the United States. My last fight was in Saudi Arabia. I had a great performance out there too. And it's just, just a blessing to be able to follow it up with this type of performance in the United States on Cinco de Mayo.
Watching a former world champion, a man who once looked invincible being wheeled out of the T-Mobile Arena on a stretcher. That was the chilling reality for Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. The flashing lights, the hushed crowd, the utter devastation. It all painted a terrifying picture. But what if the most disturbing part of this entire tragedy wasn't the brutal knockout itself? What if the real story is that this fight was lost long before the first punch was even thrown behind the closed doors of training camps and the flashing cameras of Fight Week? A dark psychological surrender had already taken place.
Ladies and gentlemen, big 6th-round KO from David Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez. Cinco de Mayo weekend, definitely a great fight, but wow. David Benavidez knocks down Zurdo Ramirez in the 4th round, and then continuously, throwing crazy combinations. I mean, I'm talking about 6-piece combinations, real close range. Zurdo Ramirez came into the fight strong, came in there with his front foot. He came in there pressing the action, but David Benavidez's speed combinations was just way too much. Shout out to Zurdo Ramirez. Hell of a chin on him, man. I mean, I'm telling you, he took so many big shots. David Benavidez ended up closing his eye, and he really just couldn't take any more. But big shout outs to, Hyman Munguia as well, beating Resendiz for the WBA title. And now you have David Benavidez, a 3-division champion. I mean, what's next? We seen Canelo Alvarez in the building for Hyman Munguia, but was nowhere to be found on the main event. David Benavidez called him out, let everybody know, listening to fans, do you want this fight? He's calling out Monstro. The fans are calling out Monstro. It was definitely a great performance.
Days before stepping into the ring with the most feared man in the sport, a shocking confession slipped through the cracks. During routine fight media scrums, athletes usually project unshakable confidence, practically radiating invincibility. Instead, Ramirez dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the industry. He casually mentioned he might only have 1 or 2 fights left in him.
And I know that you mentioned you are thinking of only fighting 2 more times. With that being said, what is your really dream matchup in the sport of boxing before you retire?
I don't know. Let's find out. But I have this Saturday, this coming fight Saturday, and then who knows?
Yeah. And lastly, what can fans expect Saturday night, and what do you really want your legacy to be when it's all said and done one day?
They have to expect a war. It will be a war this fight, and I will raise my hand with my belt for the winner.
What about the legacy?
My legacy, I already have legacy, and probably I will do more.
Completely. Well, thank you so much.
Uttering the word retirement while staring down the barrel of a Cinco de Mayo showdown is professional suicide. You don't walk into a war zone wondering what beach you'll relax on next month. That mental edge, the absolute necessity for survival at the elite level, had completely evaporated. He was openly negotiating his exit strategy while pretending to prepare for battle.
And it was the way that David Benavidez beat Gilberto Ramirez tonight. You know, Terrence versus Canelo, that was his own masterclass. Shakur versus Tio, you know, Inoue beat Nakatani, Usyk and Fury, all really good performances, don't get me wrong, but that's what the fuck I'm talking about. What David Benavidez just did to Gilberto Ramirez. I said in the breakdown after the weigh-in that yesterday, expect some James Toney-like stuff from David Benavidez. I didn't think he'd dispatch of him in 6 rounds. This was his best performance yet. I think the pacing he had in this fight was brilliant. Knowing he was up in weight, he didn't throw too many punches too early, and he relied on his defense a lot. Did some good James Toney-like defense, paced himself, found his jab, and then the hand speed ringside was absolutely insane. I mean, he's one of the fastest fighters in boxing of any weight class, but to have hand speed like that at 200 pounds, the dexterity on the punches, he hurts Zurdo by switching southpaw in the 4th round, hits him with a straight left hand, then follows it up with ridiculous combinations. I mean, electrifying stuff, you know, like Sugar Ray Leonard, Oscar De La Hoya type fucking combinations, and eventually drops him with a right hand, hitting him with every punch in the book. The left hook in the inside was money, and just puts together some beautiful offense. He is one of the most offensively prolific fighters in the game.
The contrast between the two camps couldn't have been more glaring. While his opponent was sharpening his tools with violent intent, Ramirez was looking past the ropes, visualizing a quiet life away from the heavy bags and the grueling sparring sessions. That subtle shift in focus is all it takes for a world-class athlete to turn into a walking target.
And the fans like what they came to see. So, you know, there was a lot of talk this week about, is he really a real Mexican and all that stuff. Look, Julio Cesar Chavez was on the fence about it when I asked him back in Thursday after the press conference. I don't think he's on the fence now. He hugged David Benavidez in the ring right after the fight. So this kid has a chance, this man has a chance to be the best Mexican-American fighter since Oscar De La Hoya. He's that good. He has that kind of scintillating hand speed like Oscar had in combination punching. But Zurdo, he tried to give, and I said before the fight, Zurdo was accepting his role as a supporting actor, and that's exactly what he did in this fight. He tried to give David his own medicine in rounds 2 and 3 and had some success doing it. He gave David some of his own medicine. He pressured him, he pressed him as the bigger man, tried to take away some of his range. But unfortunately for him, David Benavidez is an excellent inside fighter. And whenever he wanted to, he would pick his spots with combinations. The short left hook couldn't miss. There was times, even on the inside, he would find the dexterity to hit him with a power jab. So, and people always talk about David squaring his feet up, but he makes it work for him in a way that's very creative and dynamic. And that's why he even went as far as switching southpaw a couple times. So then into the 6th round, Benavidez, after dropping him in the 4th, went back to pacing himself. I think this was the best he ever paced himself in a fight, better than David Morrell or Caleb Plant or any of those fights. And part of it was he had a much more stationary target in front of him. Guys like Vosdick, guys like Morrell, Yard, Plant, even Andrade, who he knocked out in the same amount of rounds. These guys all give.
The reality check inside the ropes was swift and merciless. When the bell rang, David Benavidez didn't just look for a win. He initiated a systematic dismantling. The speed was blinding. The pressure was absolutely suffocating. And the sheer volume of punches was something out of a nightmare. For 6 grueling rounds, it wasn't a boxing match. It was a terrifying physical breakdown of a man who didn't want to be there. Every blistering combination from the Mexican monster seemed to punch the remaining fight right out of Zurdo's soul. It wasn't just the sheer power. It was the relentless, suffocating angles. Benz trapped him against the ropes, unleashing hooks and uppercuts that carried heavy, dangerous intentions. There was no escape plan, no miraculous tactical adjustment from the corner. It was a one-sided execution that felt uncomfortably inevitable the longer it dragged on. By the time the final devastating blow landed in the 6th round, the illusion was completely shattered. The former cruiserweight champion wasn't just beaten, he was broken.
I'm just very happy with this. I worked my ass off for this camp. I trained 5 months in training camp for this because I knew Cinco Ramirez was a warrior, and I knew that he was not going to let go of his titles willingly. So, you know, I knew the risks. I knew what I was capable of. I went up there, I told everybody that I wanted to stop Cinco Ramirez, and that's exactly what I did. And here I am, and I'm just very happy with this, and I just want to keep fighting against the best in the world and keep cementing my greatness. You know, everybody doubts me over and over and over and over again, but that's what I like. You know, I like when people doubt me because then I get to come in here and show you guys what I'm really made of. So I just want to tell you thank you so much. I love every single one of you, and this is a blessing just to be here with you guys. So thank you so much.
The chaos that erupted the second the referee waved it off was hard to watch. Viral footage instantly flooded social platforms, showing a frantic medical team rushing the ring. The immediate aftermath was completely stripped of the usual post-fight glamour. The flashing cameras captured an eerie stillness around his corner. Medics worked frantically. The crowd's roar faded into an anxious hum, and the harsh reality of combat sports was broadcast directly into millions of living rooms. The image of Zurdo being strapped to a stretcher and rushed to the local hospital shifted the entire atmosphere of the arena. This was no longer about celebrating a historic victory. It turned into a chilling health scare.
The gifts are going speed, power, movement, point selection, and IQ. That's exactly what I did. Got ball around. I just want to Zurdo, ¿estás bien? Zurdo, ¿todo bien?
Está bien, nomás me echó
Start moving back, moving back. ¿Qué quieres, amigo?
Yeah, back here.
Yo hacía adaptación.
Fans watched in silence as the grim reality of the fight game laid bare before them. It's one thing to lose your belt, but it is an entirely different level of terror when your body simply gives out under the crushing weight of a younger, hungrier killer.
Benavidez. David Benavidez is fucking special. David Benavidez is everything you want in a fighter. You talking speed, aggression, defense. And think about his defense, right? He's not moving around the ring. He stands right there in front of you. And he's willing to take a shot. He's gonna block some shot, but he's willing to take a shot. And he's gonna shoot his load every time. Combinations, power, just utter savagery. Oh my God, this guy is so special. Such a beautiful fighter to watch. It's like watching Picasso. The ring is this man's canvas. What he just did to Zurdo Ramirez was special. But if you watch Zurdo throughout his career, you knew what was going to happen. Like, if you really watched the two fighters, you knew what was going to happen. I never rated Zurdo that high. Respectable fighter. But I never thought he was that good. Resume was a little inflated. You look at his resume, like, as far as top guys or names, like, who did he really fight? What does he really bring to the table? When you watch Benavidez, you know, you see it. You see who he fought. You see what he does to fighters. I say that to say, if you watch these two, you knew what the outcome was. And it proved to be true. David fucking Benavidez. Take a bow, young man. Take a bow. God damn.
The hardcore boxing community saw this bloodbath coming from a mile away. Look through the forums and fight threads from the days leading up to the bout. Fans were absolutely ruthless, tearing apart that pre-fight interview. The writing was on the wall, etched in bold letters. Comments relentlessly urged gamblers to bet the house on Benz, pointing out that any fighter talking about the end of the road is doomed before they make the walk. They recognize the unspoken truth that bringing up life after boxing is the ultimate red flag. It's a chilling phenomenon when thousands of strangers can diagnose a fighter's compromised psychology through a single phone screen. The internet didn't just predict a loss. They predicted a massacre, proving the audience knew the fighter's mind better than his own corner did.
Beautiful. It was, look, I mean, that's the way I called it, is the buzzsaw of Benavidez, punches and bunches. And the only shot that Zurdo had was kind of, throw a punch right in the center. So obviously the speed was too much. Benavidez was too much. The Monster's here for a long time. So very proud of him. But the whole night from top to bottom was excellent. Probably one of the best cards we've ever put.
Absolutely. What do you think is next for Benavidez? What would you like to see? I thought we couldn't hear back here, but maybe he was talking about b-ball. Is that something that looks like is coming up next?
He's got many options. He's got many options. So I think right now he is the man at that weight class. So whoever's going to fight him has to wait in line, because there's several fighters like b-ball, like, all the top guys. So including, just all the world champions. But Benavidez right now is the man.
While one career violently crashed into a wall, another ascended to legendary status. Benz walked out of the carnage carrying the cruiserweight titles, firmly cementing himself as the new terrifying centerpiece of the sport. Becoming a 3-weight world champion on a holiday weekend is the stuff of legends. The Mexican Monster didn't just win, he devoured whatever was left of a fading champion's legacy. Taking those belts on such a historic stage solidified his terrifying reign, proving that anyone standing across from him needs to be willing to leave it all in the ring, something his opponent simply wasn't prepared to do. It highlighted the terrifying gap between the two men that night. Feeding him a veteran who already had one foot out the door wasn't a competitive matchup. It was a sacrifice. Now the industry is left dealing with the uncomfortable fallout. Promoters, analysts, and diehard supporters are all echoing the exact same sentiment across every social media timeline. The highlights of those blistering 3rd to 6th round combinations are going viral. But the comments underneath them tell the real story. You see the concern masking the congratulations online when rival promoters and harsh critics are sending prayers instead of breaking down the fight tape. You know the line has been crossed. Everyone is universally agreeing that it's time to hang up the gloves. There is no comeback tour being planned. There are no demands for a rematch. The consensus is clear and brutal. For his own safety and long-term health, Ramirez can never step foot inside a professional ring again. The sport has taken all it can take from him.
Yesterday, last time I checked, whoever has these dates is the motherfucking man. And that this was his audition to prove that he's actually the man. And I think he's actually the motherfucking man now. That kind of performance is going to be put on highlight reels for the mainstream sports fans, for casual fans. You know, fights like Inoue Nakatani and Shakur Tiafimo and other fights, they were excellent. I mean, those excellent performances, but it's not the kind of thing that's going to capture the imagination of the mainstream public. And what Benavidez did there will. And you know, the crowd was actually smaller than it was for the David Morrell fight, which surprised me, but I don't think that'll be the case moving forward. So yeah, man, I think that was one of the best performed. Crawford Spence and this fight, you know, shit, even believe it or not, like Broner DeMarco back in Atlantic City when I covered that fight 14 years ago was sensational. I'm leaving out a number of brilliant performances, but just off the top of my head, those are some of the ones that come to mind immediately in fights I've attended. Again, Zurdo's not the best cruiserweight in the world. Jairo Pataya is. Jairo Pataya is the toughest fight out there for David Benavidez. But I think it's smart for him to go back to light heavyweight right now. For a Jairo Pataya fight, he would have to grow into the weight class a little bit because Zurdo was clearly the bigger man. But I think that Benavidez is the better fighter than Jairo Pataya pound for pound.
Fighting without that burning, undeniable fire is the most dangerous gamble an athlete can take. When the mind retires before the body does, the final knockout isn't a surprise. It's a guarantee. The stretcher, the hospital visit, and the haunting end to a championship run serve as a dark warning to everyone else in the game. This isn't just the story of a lost title. It's a grim reminder of the absolute physical and mental toll exacted by the toughest sport on earth. You can never play boxing. And if you have to ask yourself if you're done, the sport will gladly answer that question for you in the most devastating way possible. But we'd love to hear from you. What do you make of this devastating defeat for Zurdo Ramirez? Also, who do you want to see David Benavidez fight next? Let me know in the comments. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next.